What's happening? Jackalope Jamboree pre-party kickoff show. Beautiful, great Pacific. For those of you who don't know, my name is Josh. I am bad at writing music and playing music and singing music, but I am good at observing it and capturing it. So my role in this world is journalist. And so the reason we're here is last year, Chad and Ryan, who put on Jackalope, if they're not here, give them a hand anyway because they're going to see themselves on a live stream. First of all, what a beautiful setting for a festival. It's 70 degrees outside and breezy, and if you came from out of town, wherever you came from, it was either hot or torrentially raining or both, and we get to be up here, and it's going to be a real fun weekend, I think. So they asked me last year, I was putting out a book. It was called The Motel Cowboy Show, and it was and it was about music from up here and from the general Mountain West, and it was focused on Central Idaho and Pinto Bennett and the Braun brothers and Reckless Kelly and Mickey and the Motorcars. And all their stories are in there, and it felt really timely because about a year before that, I had learned that Reckless Kelly was going to stop touring, and I got to talk to them about it and write about it for Rolling Stone, where most of my bylines go. And with all that going on, I decided that was the time to write about where they were from. So Chad and Ryan wanted me to come up here and talk about it, kind of like a coffee shop on a Sunday afternoon where you have some banter and do some readings. And I really like the idea, and I'm very comfortable doing that, and there will be a time and place for that. But I thought me reading from the pages of a book isn't going to get anybody hyped for all that's going to happen down the street later tonight. So last year, brought up a J.D. Kendall, and we brought up Josh Fleming from Vandaliers. Both of them were back this year, and we had a blast, right? That was fun if you were here. So in wondering what to do this year, I knew I wanted to do it again, and last winter learned from Mike Harmeier over there that we were going to soon be welcoming into this world Silverada. Well, as you know, and if you don't know, you're about to find out in exactly 7 minutes. They're dropping an album at 9 p.m. when they take the stage to headline the night. So that's going to be big fun, right? So we came up with this idea that at Winter Festival down in Key West at Mile Zero, that Mike and I and Joe Hudak, who's my editor at Rolling Stone, who has enabled so many of the stories that I get to write, tell, and rate, and has completely altered the trajectory of my own career, which didn't need altering, it was going great. He did that, so the three of us got on stage and we played dumb, and we're like, I believe what Joe said to Mike was, so would you say that last show you played was the last Mike and the Moon Pie show ever? And Mike goes, yeah. And everybody goes, oh. And then he goes, because we're changing the name to Silverada. So we did that, and it was fun. But it also seemed like that was so new that we should do it again. And I thought the day they were releasing an album would be a perfect time to do that. So that's what we're going to do today. The trade-off is I'm going to do this for 5 more minutes because my story is I came from Stillwater, Oklahoma, and I came up during a time when a lot of artists were living there, and I was in college at Oklahoma State, and just off campus was this house, and this house was yellow, and we were all sitting around like, what should we call this yellow house? And we would just rack our brains every night. We would all agree that we had no idea what to call the yellow house that everybody lived in and played music in night after night and would stay up until the sun came up. So this place all the musicians in Stillwater, Oklahoma lived, like Jason Boland and Stoney the Roo and Cody Canada. This yellow house, we never came up with a name for it. I'm sorry, I don't have a good way to do that. It's just a yellow house without a name. No one, we called it the Yellow House, and it's probably outside of the front porch in College Station, one of the landmarks of red dirt music and the larger Texas music scene. Well, I was a part of that. At one point, it even literally saved my life. And what I was doing in college was I was writing about those people who I just name dropped. Right? Good idea. But then I had to actually have a career, and I couldn't make a living writing about Jason Boland and the Stragglers as much as I wanted to. So I went off and became a journalist, and I ended up becoming a really good journalist, good enough that I could, in this era of media cratering, still carve my own path out. And that path led me to city after city and newspaper after newspaper, and at one point I happened to be working for the Chicago Tribune when ragweed broke up. So I wrote about that for the Chicago Tribune, and it was about 10 years after the Yellow House existed. And the satisfying feeling, as sad as I was that that band was breaking up, that I got to cover this again was just, it planted this seed. And so time and again after that, I would try and find things to write about, and it was usually really heavy, kind of not the most fun stuff to write about. When like when Merle Haggard passed, I wrote a story about it for the Cleveland Plain Dealer, an obituary. I was working there, so it was always stuff like that. And fast forward to 2018, and I'm on Cody Canada's bus, going with him to some shows he's doing with the Turnpike Troubadours, who at the time were going through their own struggles. And all those people I was name dropping were kind of sitting around after a show. One of them looks at me and says, "Man, if you don't write about this scene and tell this story, no one's going to, and it's going to get lost to history." So that is when it hit me that that was what my role in this music was to actively share this largely independent and very original and very personal to the region of the country it's from music with the world. So I wrote a book. It's called Red Dirt. It came out in 2020. There's a copy over there. So the first person that grabs it after the show, you can just have it. And it's tattooed on my arm. And that was a huge hit. Part of that book was Evan Felker reached out and said he wanted to play music again, and he was sober, and that was kind of the first look into that world that people got of what became the second act of the Turnpike Troubadours. And that, the momentum from that enabled everything else that I've done. It enabled that Motel Cowboy show and all the stories I've gotten to write for Rolling Stone. And about right in the wake of coming out here to Jackalope last year, finishing work on Motel Cowboy show, I found myself back in Stillwater with a kid who was having his own sort of moment, and that kid was named Wyatt Flores. And it turned out that Wyatt and I were from the exact same place, and we started talking about his life, and what I realized he was describing was the life I had lived 20 years earlier. And so for the last year, I have been hanging around with him and all of the other artists in his circles and who are having similar rises in this 2024 era of country music. And that's going into a book, and it's coming out in December, and there's a very good reason it's coming out in December. You'll find that out in about 3 weeks. And that is the story of everything that's happened in the last 4 years to Red Dirt, Texas, and Americana. It's the same exact approach of artist profiles. And it's me following Wyatt around for a year. It's also me following The Great Divide, one of the people that got me into music like this. That book's going to be called, as a Red Dirt sequel, Red Dirt Unplugged. So, to wrap up my little speech, there's a very special expanded edition of the Motel Cowboy show, which includes a full recap of last year's Jackalope, complete with main stage set lists and pictures and interviews. Caitlin Butts has a great quote in it. And so does Josh Crutchmer. And that'll be at the merch tent. And that book is online for $50. It'll be at the merch tent for $35. You'll also, whenever you see me or hear me talk all week, I will please beg you to go pre-order Red Dirt Unplugged, because that's how, just like artists putting records out, that's how I support my own musical endeavors, is these pre-sales of this book. They set the bar for what I can and can't do. anybody during Jackalope that pre-orders Red Dirt Unplugged, I'm going to take 3 copies of the book that's out and have every artist in this whole festival sign up. And on the last night, I'll give all 3 away to anybody that pre-orders Red Dirt Unplugged. And you don't even have to be here. I'll just send it to the address that you placed your order from if you don't want to take it from me. But it will be signed by as many of the artists here that I can get. So that is my entire plea, life story, history in Red Dirt, and what I'm doing. My name is Josh Crutchmer. You'll see my bylines out there. I realize I have a presence in this scene, and I hope you know that I'm just trying to share with you and the world the music that we all love. That's me. You did it. You made it through me. Okay, so as you may have heard, because I keep mentioning it, Silverada's headlining tonight, right? And they're putting out a self-titled album when they take the stage. Their downbeat, Silverada, is out into the world. So let's say we preview it and maybe hear a few songs from it and maybe talk about it. Y'all like that? Let's get Mike and Zach from Silverada up here. Mike Harmeier, Zachary.
All right, one more time for Josh. He did it. He did the whole thing. And for Zachary Moulton over here too. Sharpshooters chewing up the ground, strange souls all over
How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling really good today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Got an album coming out. Is that exciting? I mean, you put like 9 of these out. Is it still like, is the thrill still there of like just the weight and the rush you get from putting one of these out in the world?
Yeah, the anticipation is always high. Like, I'm like just nervous about it, excited about it. I mean, you make a record and then you sit on it forever, so you just think about it and you get no feedback from it, and so you're just like, I don't know what to do, I'm freaking out. Like the night we put out Cheap Silver was like one of the scariest nights of my entire life because I had no idea what was going to happen. And this feels very similar to that release.
Let's talk about the album itself. We'll come back to what the last 6 months have been like, but tell me how this album came about. How long was it in the works? How many kind of songs went into it that you actually ended up cutting? Just give us the big picture overview of putting this one out in the world.
Yeah, I started to write, I don't know, a year and a half or so ago, maybe a little longer. And I was having trouble getting started. And so I started reading some books about songwriting and Jeff Tweedy's book, and that kind of broke some stuff loose for me, and then it started to really flow. And when we went to the studio, it was our first time to make a record with Taylor on drums. So we were pretty excited about where we could go with that. And I think pretty early on, we kind of knew it was headed in a little bit different direction, just because I think the songs were a little bit more linear and ethereal. So I think that it was like a playbook kind of out the window situation, and we were at the Yellow Dog for, I don't know, Adam, I don't remember how long we were there.
I know at one point we did, I think, 8 days.
Anyways, that sounds awful. 8 days. And we cut a lot of different versions of stuff too. I mean, so there's a lot of stuff in the can that's completely different than we restarted a couple of things, and I think we cut probably 15 or 16 songs. There's a lot of things that didn't make it. Just one thing would be better than the last one, so like, okay, so they kind of shoved some of them out of the way. So there's still leftovers.
You guys are in the presence of Music Road. That's Adam O'Dore back there. It is Yellow Dog Studios. Work with Mike on this album. Mike, what's it like working with Adam behind the knobs?
I mean, it's just a fluid situation, dude. He's a member of the band, I mean, there's nothing you can't do. Anything's wide open, and then he has like these sayings that I'm really irked by all the time. Hit your tuners, and I like where this is going. Yeah, I hate that one so much, but I know what it means.
Right.
Yeah.
But you've done quite a bit of working with him on that side of the studio too. You've produced quite a bit in the last post-pandemic world. What do you get out of that that's maybe not the same creative direction as something you're making yourself?
I just really enjoy that, and I think me and Adam are really good at working together on that thing. I mean, we did Darby's record and Rob's record really close to each other, and I don't know. I mean, it's another opportunity to take a lot of chances. I feel like with our records, I kind of know where it's going, and I have a pretty good idea of where I want it to go. But with somebody else's, it's kind of a wide open, it's like a really blank canvas. So I think it's pretty. It's a different experience, but it's very satisfying.
Let me ask you then. Let me ask you about a couple of songs, and maybe we'll hear some more. But the one you just played, Anywhere But Here. Tell me how that one comes together. It's some of the turns of some of those phrases, like you can put a Walmart anywhere. It's just that's killer. How'd that song come together?
I crossed that line out so many times. I was really.
I'm the wordsmith here. I say it's good.
I appreciate that. I was thinking about changing it every time I put into different.
What were you gonna put here? Were you gonna put like a Walgreens or?
Yeah, it was gonna be Walgreens. That song wrote kind of like maybe one of the first things I did for the record, because it feels like it could be on the One to Grow On record, like it's the same idea. So I think, and that really happens to me a lot. So I'll finish writing a record, or we'll make a record, and I'll go to write the next one, and I find myself writing like the next step of that same record. So I try to like bow out of that as soon as I can, but that one I just couldn't walk away from it. It feels like I've heard so many songs that want to be that song. Sorry.
You like, what's the funniest thing you could put? Probably a Spirit Halloween, right? But it doesn't fit the cadence. Let's ask you one more then, Mike. And it was the very first single you put out, and I believe the very first song you played as Silverada was "Wallflower," which is a fucking banger, right? We come out of the gate with that. That is a head turner. But also, you know, to me, it is part of what you were saying about the direction being somewhat different. So tell me about Wallflower, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I wrote that song on acoustic guitar, so it started out a lot differently, and that was a pretty interesting version of that, which I think I have. But then we really took advantage of it. Taylor and Omar crush on that song. Like, it just moves. It's just like, and it's this disco thing that we just couldn't say no to. So like once we tried it one time that way, we just had to follow it. And I was listening to a lot of War on Drugs, so I was like trying to use some of those chord changes and stuff in there, so that whole solo section is completely different than the rest of the song. It was just kind of what we did on the record as a whole, is just chase every song without worrying about it fitting into whatever we thought the record was going to be. So and that's why it's eclectic as it is, because it was all about whatever the song is, right, is what we laid down.
Well, I was blown away by it, and I wasn't the only one, because I was out in the crowd when the first time that was played, and that response, the response is one of the coolest things I've seen in music in a while. So I like, yeah, right. And I'm not up here to tell anybody what they should play when they're headlining tonight, but I mean, what if we play another song, Mike? What are we gonna hear?
I'm gonna do the polar opposite of that. I'll do this one that we cut it a couple of times full band, and we couldn't get it. I don't know. We just weren't finding it, and then we just decided to take a less is more approach, and we figured it out on tour, and so we ended up cutting it in Macon, and it's called "Stay by My Side." When I give up the music, I'll give up the drinking. Like I gave up the powder in the spring of '05. I won't take to the highway, I'll take care of the children. Don't give up on me, darling, stay by my side. It's the taste of the whiskey, the smell of the diesel. The roar of the crowd and thrill of the night. I won't take it for granted, it won't last forever. I'll stay on the stage till they turn out the light. Well, I wouldn't give for a taste of home cooking. Well, I wouldn't take just to get through the show. Wherever you find me, can't satisfy me. I get homesick at home, sick on the road. thrill of dawn, floors covered with marble. The dogs are all loose, the cats live on inside. Forgive me for heading straight to the bedroom, but a man on the run means a good place to hide. Oh, I give up the music, I give up drinking. Like I gave up the powder in the spring of '05. I won't take to the highway, I'll take care of the children. Don't give up on me, darling, stay by my side. Don't give up on me, darling, stay by my side.
Lord. Speaking of solid country gold, Zach, that Dobro's killer.
Right?
Wow. Thank you. Well, let's talk about, Mike, just for like just a minute or so. What have the last 6 months been like for you musically and as a band? It's weird because you're the same band, but rebranding is a big deal. What's it been like getting this spreading the word about this, and how have your fans taken to it? What's it been like for you?
I think overall it's gone as I expected it to go. I mean, we anticipated some discourse. But I mean, I don't think that it hasn't bothered us, and we're having a whole lot of fun playing with it. I mean, we've been playing a lot of these songs in the show for a little bit, and we're just kind of getting started. I mean, really, since we've done it, we've kind of like weekend warriored around Texas and stuff for the last few months, so all in anticipation of this record coming out. So I think that I'm really excited for the record to drop because I think it's going to give people something to attach the whole thing to. So I think it's going to be the right move at the right time.
Everybody, when they take the stage tonight, raise your glass for that one person out there who has just written them totally off. Like the way that like the fans do when like an artist like gives up drinking or something and is like, well, he was better when he was named. Pour one out for that person tonight when they go on stage.
They say it to my face, man.
So I've been traveling all around and really just trying to track down artist after artist for this next book for Red Dirt Unplugged, which you can pre-order. And I flew in like late last night on the last flight in, and so I did not get to find you guys in the Bandoliers, but I was wearing my Mike and the Moon Pie shirt just because somebody was going to say something, and I could have been like, I bought this on eBay, $450 for it.
Dude, we sold more Moon Pies merch that night that we changed our name.
Have any of the jokes gotten old yet? Do people still give you boxes of those Moon Pies? Those Moon Pies first were delicious, but have that gotten old yet?
Yeah, I mean, sooner or later, it all gets old. Like, the one is like, it's the greatest Moon Pie cover band I've ever heard, or some shit like that. That's actually really funny when you hear it for the first time, and I'm trying to imagine what it's like hearing it for the 15th time.
Okay, so tell me then, what's next? What are you gonna do when this album's out? Tell me about the tour. Tell me what your plans are for the rest of the year musically.
Yeah, I mean, we're just, like I said, we've been taking it slow the first half of the year, and we're gonna pay for that in the back half. I mean, we're doing every major market that we've ever done and more. So I mean, we're gonna spend the rest of the year on the road, just pushing this record out. And I've started to write a little bit for something else, for another record. So I don't know how we're gonna do that. Maybe sneak in the studio every now and then or do something. I don't know. Who knows? If we can carve out time, but I mean, it's gonna be road dogging for the rest of the year.
All right, so you heard the man. All of you with the time and the disposable income, you're going to find Silverada in your town. Even after this, anybody that can get down to Nashville in about a week for that killer Ryman show with Uncle Lucius, I highly recommend it. So here's what I'm going to do to close this out. I'm going to repeat my spiel and let Mike and Zach bring us home. But Hudak's not here, and you haven't gotten to do one of these things with him yet. But he's been doing this with artists, and they call it the Rolling Stone Writer Room, and they're really cool and fun, just like this is. It's the same vibe, but they're always sponsored by George Dickel Bourbon. So as a tribute to Joe, who's going to see this, although he's not watching on the stream, how about a hand for George Dickel Bourbon putting this on? Get out there. I had a sample. They're really good. It's worth your time. You guys are going to see me all week. If you enjoy this, if you enjoy the writing I do, if you enjoy the way to support that and to see that it keeps happening in the world, there's 3 ways you can do it. You can go to the merch table, you can buy Motel Cowboy Show. You can pre-order Red Dirt Unplugged, and if you do it during the fest, you'll get that other book signed by everybody. You can buy, maybe 3 people will. And if reading's not your thing, or I'm not your thing, but you still think it's important to help spread the word or share the work of people that are covering this music, because there's not a lot of us left, then share on social media, tell your friends. The internet is a hellhole right now to try and spread the word of anything. So we have to go back to old-fashioned word of mouth. So if you enjoy this, if you enjoy my writing and want to see me continue it, there's ways you can support it. One of them is even free. So I'm going to ask you to do that. And after every main stage set, except the headliners all week, 10 minutes after, I will be at the merch tent. Just like a friend of all of ours, BJ Barham, says, I want to meet you, I want to shake your hand, and I want to thank you for supporting this. I will do that. If you want to talk about books and music, you want to tell me about a band that I should know about, if you want to tell me I'm a shithead or what I posted on social media, I'm here for all that. I'll be at the merch tent 10 minutes after every main stage set. So thank you guys again for letting me do this. Thanks to Mike and Zach for coming out here too. And let's have a really, 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 really good week. It's a beautiful week in Pendleton. It's a glorious setting. And I'm gonna get off stage and let tonight's headliner, 9 p.m. Silverada Drops, close us out. Take it home, boys.
Thanks, Joe. no one slowed me down. I'm still trying to get the mixture right. More ice, less spread. If I remember the words tonight, I ought to write that one down. Set 'em up, knock 'em down. Another one night stand in a one-horse town. The same old song on a brand new set of strings. Ain't that what it's all about? Load in, load out. I had 'em going for a little while, out of turn, went out of style. And it was cool to drive a million miles down a dirty dead-end road. I'm only here for a day or two. I'm only here because of you. And someone somewhere else tomorrow night. But now, 1 year older than my pickup truck, out of gas and out of luck. Just another old fixer-up, but hell, who's got time? I might have taken it a little too far, writing this song on my son's guitar. But you gotta catch them falling stars before they hit the ground. I feel the tempo speeding up. I take another shot from a Pepsi cup and throw my old guitar across the stage. Set 'em up, knock 'em down. Another one night stand in a one-horse town. Same old song on a brand new set of strings. Now let me tell you, there ain't no doubt, it don't take long to figure it out. Man, this is what it's all about. Load in, load out. Hey. Thanks. You got time for one more, Joe? Cool. Me and Zach have been doing a lot of this solo and steel show. Quite a bit of it we did last year, and occasionally doing a couple this year. And we went ahead and we made a record of it. So just like a couple of weeks ago. So there's some stuff coming out, but I just really love playing this one acoustic. So we're gonna do it for you. A man's got to have a coat, walk along a higher road, learn to love the Holy Ghost, whatever does the pain. Own a piece of the promised land, and take pride in a farmer's tan, and get a little when you can, and keep praying for the rain. So I work my 9 to 5, I'm trying to keep the dream alive. I'm kicking it into overdrive and burning it at both ends. It takes a lot of time to read, a little bit of take-home pay, just to keep the wolves away till the ships come sailing in. Blame it on my blood or on my destiny, but I'll do my work with a willing hand. I wake up when the rooster crows, I head home when the whistle blows, and I try to save a little dough for a rainy day. I could sure use some time to get away space. Someday I'm gonna take a drive and head south down 35. Turn back when the tank runs dry, or the highway meets the sea. Blame it on my blood or on my destiny, but I do my work with a willing hand. I wake up when the rooster crows, I head home when the whistle blows, and I try to save a little dough, wanna buy a Chevrolet. Sit around and drink my beer while you sip sweet apple wine. Thank the Lord for both forget. They don't know the things we did to keep on the fighting head and the fan to the flame. Blame it on our blood or on our destiny, but we do our work with a willing hand. Wake up when the rooster crows, head home when the whistle blows, and we try to save a little dough. Learn to get high or lay low on one of these days. We'll make our getaway. Yeah. Thank you. Zachary.
See y'all out there. The stuff with my name on it on that, that's free. Book stickers if you want to take them, they're yours. Enjoy.